It was a cool, misty evening in Dublin, an ordinary night transformed by the unexpected. Conor McGregor had just finished attending a charity event at a local community center, where his presence and passion for giving back had inspired many. Despite the accolades and the buzz surrounding his success in the octagon, tonight he sought nothing more than a quiet moment of reflection before returning to his hotel. As Conor strolled along the rain-slicked cobblestone streets of his hometown, the rhythmic patter of raindrops set a contemplative mood. The neon lights of pubs and cafes flickered against the fog, creating a mosaic of warmth amid the chill. But even in that inviting glow, one scene managed to pierce the evening's calm. In a narrow alley behind a rundown building, Conor's attention was drawn to the sound of muffled grunts and the scuffle of footsteps. Curious and cautious, he approached and found a small group of local toughs surrounding a young man. The youth, no older than 19, was clad in worn-out training gear, his eyes burning with determination despite the bruises that marred his face. It was clear he was defending himself, but against overwhelming odds. A voice from the group sneered, "You really think you can stand up to us, kid? This isn't your playground." The bullies encircled him, confident that they could break his spirit as easily as they had done to so many others before. Conor paused at the threshold of the scene. Memories of his own early days, of fighting not only opponents in the ring but also the demons of self-doubt, stirred within him. Without a moment's hesitation, he stepped forward. "Oi! Leave him alone!" Conor's voice rang out, low and authoritative, carrying over the dampened noise of the alley. The bullies glanced up, startled by the unexpected intrusion. One of them scoffed, "And who are you supposed to be? His big brother?" In that charged moment, Conor's eyes flashed with a mix of controlled fury and unwavering resolve. "I'm someone who's been where you are," he said firmly, "and I won't stand by while you try to crush the spirit of a young man with dreams." The air seemed to tighten around them as the tension escalated. For a few heartbeats, the only sound was the distant hum of the city and the rhythmic patter of rain. The young fighter, whose eyes darted between his aggressors and the imposing figure before him, mustered a shaky smile, a silent plea for hope. The leader of the bullies stepped forward, trying to regain control of the situation. "This isn't your business, mate. Back off, or you'll regret it." Conor's response was unyielding. "I've spent years fighting my own battles. I know what it's like to be underestimated, to face impossible odds. But every fighter knows that courage isn't about never falling. It's about rising every time you do." His words, simple yet heavy with personal history, seemed to shift the very energy of the confrontation. After a tense moment, the bullies exchanged wary looks. Recognizing that the fight might cost them more than they'd bargained for, they gradually backed off, melting into the shadows of the alley. The young man, panting and bruised, looked up at Conor with eyes brimming with gratitude and disbelief. "Are you really Conor McGregor?" he asked in a trembling voice, scarcely daring to hope that the legendary fighter was on his side. Conor knelt beside him, his Irish brogue softening. "Aye, that's me," he admitted with a gentle smile. "But tonight, I'm not here as the fighter you've seen in the headlines. I'm here as a man who believes in second chances." "What's your name, lad?" "Seamus," the youth replied, his voice steadier now despite the lingering pain. "I've been training for years, trying to make a name for myself, but it's been rough. I lost more than a few scraps along the way." Conor's gaze softened as he studied Seamus's determined face. "I know what it's like to fight for every inch, to face defeat and doubt. When I was starting out, I had nothing but grit and the will to survive. You've got that same spark, Seamus, but talent isn't enough on its own. You need the right guidance, the right opportunities." Drawing on his own storied career, Conor shared snippets of his early struggles. The long nights of training, the countless setbacks, and the moments when giving up seemed like the only option. "Every scar tells a story, lad," he said, lightly placing a reassuring hand on Seamus's shoulder. "Mine do too, but those scars are proof that I kept fighting, and so will you." In that moment, the rain eased, as if nature itself acknowledged the significance of the encounter. Conor took out his phone and, after a brief call, arranged for Seamus to meet with a respected local trainer who had once been a mentor to rising fighters in Dublin. "I want you to come with me," Conor declared. "Let's get you the proper training and the chance you deserve. There's a fire in you that shouldn't be doused by circumstance." Seamus's eyes widened in a mixture of hope and disbelief. "Really? You'd do that for me?" "Of course," Conor replied, his tone earnest. "It's not just about the fighting, it's about believing in yourself and knowing that sometimes a little help from someone who's been there can change your whole future." He paused, then added with a wink, "Besides, every champion knows that the true victory isn't measured in titles, but in the lives we change along the way." Later that night, after ensuring that Seamus was safe and in the hands of his new mentor, Conor walked back through the now quiet Dublin streets. The city, vibrant with history and the echoes of countless fighters' dreams, seemed to whisper its approval. approval. In the solitude of that reflective walk, Conor felt the weight of his own journey, a life marked by triumphs and failures alike, and the knowledge that his legacy would be defined not solely by his conquests in the ring, but by his willingness to lift others when they were down. Back at his hotel, Conor sat by the window, gazing out at the shimmering city lights. In his heart, he knew that tonight's encounter was just one of many small moments that together could forge a path toward a better tomorrow, for him, for Sheamus, and for every underdog striving to overcome their obstacles. In that quiet moment, the fierce competitor transformed into something more, a mentor, a guardian, a symbol of hope. Thank you for watching till the end. If Conor McGregor's journey of compassion and resilience has inspired you, please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more stories of transformation and heart. Remember, every champion's story begins with the courage to care. Have a great day.